Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sade. Thank you so much for joining me for our astrology talk here on Hidden Alchemy. For today, we are going to go ahead and dive into what does it mean when you have your rising in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, if you have not seen any of my videos on what the sun, moon, and rising means, go ahead and check them out on my channel. I have tons and tons of videos where we are just dissecting these things. And my books are officially open for reading. So if you are interested in your own personalized reading, head over to my website, Hidden Alchemy by Sade, where you will be able to get in contact with me where we can schedule your own personal reading. Now, let's go ahead and dive into what does it mean when you have your rising in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, I love, love, love the Sagittarius energy, especially if you have it in your first house, because what this means for your rising energy is that you're really moving forward in the world from the space of a Sagittarius archetype. And this is the way that people are receiving you as you move forward into the world with this energy. So you can really embody Sagittarius energy if you have Sag as your moon or your rising, more so than having it as your sun sign, because your moon rules your psyche and your rising is really how you like to move and initiate action in the world. So having Sag in the first house, while Sagittarius is masculine in nature, it's fire, it's mutable, and it's the last fire sign. So when by the time we get to Sagittarius, we are really at the end of the fire wheel, where the first fire we have is Aries, about the I am. The next fire we have is Leo, right? About the I will, your willpower. And then you have Sagittarius, which is really about philosophy. It's really about understanding the bigger picture of life and having this courage and confidence to move forward in the world with your own personal philosophy. And that is what these folks do when they have Sagittarius in the first house. These are people who are very self aware and self assured, or they project themselves as being very self aware, very self assured, because they're moving from their own philosophy. And the first house is naturally ruled by Aries. So having Sagittarius in the first house is really beneficial because it's still a fire sign in the first house. Now, because Sagittarius is mutable, these are people who are constantly adapting to the changes within their life or really initiating constant change in their environment. Reason being, Sag is mutable, and Sages really need a lot of mental, physical, and spiritual stimulation. These are people who love to go out on a quest, on a journey to learn more about themselves and about their own philosophy and really connecting and experiencing the world. Are all about experiencing the world in order to gain more wisdom and higher levels of knowledge to understand themselves better. Whenever you're working with fire signs, it's really about the self. And Sages like to connect with other people, experience the world with other people so that they can learn more about themselves and continue forward on their personal journey. So these are people who love, love, love to be around others. This is not a sign that wants to be to themselves. This is a sign that likes to enjoy time with other people. And when you think about it, when we're experiencing Sagittarius season, it's during the busiest, most social time of the year, which is the holidays, where you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, the preparation before New Year's. And it's when people are slowing down in terms of work and focusing more on the connections that they're making with other people and hanging out and socializing more. And this is Sag. Sages love to socialize, especially if you have this in your first house. You love to socialize so that you can learn more. These are people who really like to study and learn and dive into the deeper philosophy of things and the bigger picture of life. Now, something to keep in mind, because Sagittarius risings have Scorpio in their 12th house, right? Sometimes, because Sag is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter likes to expand everything that it touches. And these people can move through life with an overzealous, overabundant terms of optimism, which can sometimes make them a bit sloppy in how they move because there's no boundaries to how abundant they like to move or how abundant life is. And having Scorpio in that 12th house, these are people who would benefit a lot from developing a spiritual practice. And the reason being is because Sag naturally is a spiritual sign. It's not a religious sign, but it does rule religion in terms of studying a philosophy in order to have a code of conduct that you live by. So these are people, if they have a deeper spiritual practice, it's going to bring a little bit more grounding and discernment to their abundant, free flowing nature that they move from. And the reason being is because Scorpio being the sign that comes before Sagittarius, it really rules our deep intuitive knowing of discernment, of knowing when something is okay for us and when something is not okay for us, when we are in manipulative types of situations with people or when people are trying to take advantage of us, because Scorpio rules the deeper, darker psyche of humanity. Now, Sagittarius, because it has that Jupiter energy in the first house, these are people who like to be very generous and can be big givers because they move through life knowing that they are worthy of abundance. So they want to give this luck to other people. Now, when they develop a spiritual practice, they'll have more grounding over that giving nature, and they'll also be able to have a better gift of discernment to know who people are and also understanding their own personal power. Because Scorpio is in that 12th house, these people can sometimes be aware of their power, but can sometimes try to take advantage of other people who may not be aware of their personal power or use other people so that they can go further on their journey. Because Sag is all about trekking forward, moving forward on your journey, and constantly learning and growing as you develop. So, really developing a spiritual practice can help these people harness that inspiring fire energy and also that big, bold, vibrant Jupiter energy to be more discerning about who they are having around them and who they're giving their luck and their just generosity to, because Sages are very, very generous people, or a very generous archetype, I should say. Now, because Sag risings like to move from their own philosophy, these are people who can sometimes get a little preachy and a little coachy about what they deem to be right for themselves, and should be very careful and mindful of not trying to impose their views on other people. Now, Sag naturally is not going to impose or impede, but because it's that fire energy and because Sages have this confidence and this regal energy of just self knowing, it can come across as my way of doing things is the best way, and it's worked in my life for this reason, and this is why it's the best. And it can come across that way. And of course, because Sages are known for being very vocal about their truth, very spicy about their truth, and very matter of fact, that these are people that can kind of shun you if they don't really believe in your philosophy or they don't really believe in the way that you're doing things, and then just kind of say like, well, this is how I do things, and this is what I believe in, and this is what I do, and kind of just give off that preachy energy because they are such a philosophical sign, and because they are very good at understanding the bigger picture of life and seeing things beyond the details and just understanding that bigger picture. Now, because you have Sagittarius in your first house, you have Gemini in your seventh house of partnerships and relationships. And these are people, as I stated in my Sun in Sagittarius video, they cannot be boxed in. They love to be in relation with people that also like to learn different things, that also have an open mind, and that like to experience life in this space of freedom, in this space of optimism, bubbliness, and really just trying to learn and be better than who they were and how they were previously. Because Sag being ruled by the centaur, they need to be moving on a quest towards their journey, towards their destination, and really don't want to feel boxed in or stagnant as they move, and prefer to have people around them that kind of give them that same type of energy, especially in terms of romance. All in all, Sag in the first house is such a vibrant, inspiring energy. These are people who like to be the life of the party. These are people who like to inspire other people and really coach other people on how to move from this space of inner knowing, inner philosophy, and using that fire energy to move towards their own quest and finding their truth. All right, y'all, let me know if you have Sagittarius in the first house. I would love to hear how this resonates with you. And if not, I will see you for our next video, everyone.